What's up, YouTube? Current6693 here to bring you gaming and anime news, as well as anything that I find interesting. Man, E3, E3. As you guys know, E3 was this past week. The pre-show was Monday. It had the conferences with, I think, it was Microsoft, EA, Ubisoft, then Sony, or something like that. And then you had the 3 days of the E3. Now, I mostly watched the pre-show, and then I just saw the coverage of the other 3 days, I'm saying, all the videos that came up on YouTube, and I just kind of want to give my thoughts on E3, and more specifically, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, as far as, where they stand, who I think had the best presentation, and talk about some of the games that are coming out. So I'm going to go down a list here. I'm not gonna address every game. I'm just gonna address every game that I care about. Okay, so the first one, big game that I see is Assassin's Creed Unity. They showed off Assassin's Creed Unity, and in my opinion, as far as next gen graphics, I wouldn't say that it's exactly like next gen. Well, I would say it doesn't look as impressive as it could have. Like it doesn't look like a true next gen as far as graphics, but it can. But I have noticed, they put in the co-op where 3 other people can be with you on missions, and they said that they've made the game harder to accommodate for that. So that's cool, but to be honest though, besides that, and they've cleaned up the parkour. Like, I noticed the parkour is a little bit more fluid. I noticed there was one part he was scaling down the building and he was kind of moving a lot more smooth, jumping between parts and stuff. That was really cool. But really, besides that, I really don't see a huge change in Assassin's Creed. It kind of looks like more the same, just we cleaned up some stuff, and you can play with friends now. Now, don't get me wrong, the fact that you can play with 3 other people in a campaign, I think that's great. That's what I've been waiting for a long time. In my opinion, that should have been in Assassin's Creed way back in Brotherhood. Way back when they first announced multiplayer. They should have already had that in the game. Or at least maybe by the time we got to Assassin's Creed 3 or something, they should have already had that in the game. But I do think this will be fun, because in my opinion, I really don't care for Assassin's Creed multiplayer. I think it's only fun if you're winning. Because I've played a couple hours of some of the multiplayer in the different games, and I've noticed that if I'm constantly getting killed and I don't know who the hell is killing me, what the hell's going on, I usually find myself getting really, really bored. So I'm glad that they changed up the multiplayer. Now you can do it with campaign, and I hope there's missions that are really unique to the co-op experience. And I think this will be fun, so I can play co-op with some of my friends when I get my PS4 in about 2 weeks. My birthday's in about 2 weeks. I can't wait. Yes. But Assassin's Creed Unity, it looks okay. I mean, graphics. I'm not a graphics whore. I'm really more about gameplay. If the game is fun, yeah. Now I will be getting it though. I will be. Just because I've stuck with Assassin's Creed for so long. Now I know there's the Assassin's Creed Comet that's coming out on last gen system. I'm not getting that one. In my opinion, I'm not getting that, because that one's pretty much just a throwaway. I want the one that's going to actually continue the story, because I care about the storyline as well. And one thing that I really say about Assassin's Creed that I want them to do different is that I understand that one of the big points of Assassin's Creed is that you are fighting Templars, right? But have you ever? I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we've done that a lot, in all the games, and it's kind of felt like the same thing over and over again. Just you become an assassin, and there's some Templar that killed your family, or you have a personal vendetta with, and you got to kill all the other assassins to get to him. But I just kind of feel like the formula is still the same. I want to see something different. I want to see the Templars do something else besides just, you just fight them because that's what you do. I want to see something. I want to see more active Templars. I want to see them, what I'm saying, taking over the city. I want to see a really nice villain, a really concrete villain in a set, because we've yet to have that in Assassin's Creed. We've had people who, so he's the Templar master, but in my opinion, we haven't had a real villain. And one thing that I really liked about the first Assassin's Creed game, the very first one, even though it was repetitive, I liked the Templars because they all had different personalities. And I liked how you found out that the Master Templar is your master, and that was a cool plot twist. That's what I loved about the first Assassin's Creed, and I want to see more of that. in the Assassin's Creed franchise. I want to see more. I want to see more of a story around the Templars, not just, oh, we're gonna craft a story where you just kind of go through and kill a bunch of them and then that's it. I want to see more from Assassin's Creed. I really do. But that's pretty much the sum of what I got on Assassin's Creed. I'll be getting it. You know, and hopefully we'll see how good it is. Now, this next one I see here that I want to talk about, Batman Arkham Knight. Man, so at the end of the Sony press conference, they had a gameplay trailer of Batman Arkham Knight, and I'm just going to get straight into it. Let me tell you, this is a next-gen game. This is a next-gen experience. Man, because it all starts off with Batman and the bat symbol crest comes in. He has his new suit on. So I'm guessing this is probably like the first hour in the game, because I know that you start off with the suit from the last game in Arkham City, and then he goes into the new suit. I guess, you know, because he realized that he's going to need a better suit in order to take on all these villains. So he puts on a new suit and it's kind of got all these metal pieces and metallic and all this Transformer shit going on. Yes, and then I think he's in the top of Wayne Tower. He's in the top of Wayne Tower, and then he jumps off. He's flying around. You know what I'm saying? And then he goes to the Batmobile, and you see just the epic scope of Gotham, and it looks so much more alive than any of the other games, you know what I mean? Because I felt like even with like Arkham Origins was bigger, but it wasn't. It was bigger, but it maybe wasn't necessarily better. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was bigger, had a bigger wide space, and there were some really nice shots, but it just kind of felt like it felt more like a playground than an actual city, and that's what I want. I want a game, a city that doesn't feel like it's. I don't want a playground. I want a city that is my playground, if that makes sense. You know, I want, and with all the lights and the people moving around and just the world feels alive, and that's what I really want from a Batman Arkham from the Batman Arkham Knight, and it looks great. I'm still disappointed that it got delayed. I'm still pissed off, but I'll be kind of honest. I'm a sucker. That trailer got me excited, and there ain't nothing we can do about it now, so all we can do is wait for it. I mean, I wish it would have came out this year, but hopefully the final product is as good as it looks, because it looked amazing. So yeah, back into the action. So yeah, he goes to the Batmobile, and you see how he's kind of driving around, and I think sometimes, like when you do tight corners, I think it did something where, like, because I remember there was one game, Batman Vengeance, where when you turn tight corners, it would shoot out like a back grapple, and it would grab onto like a lamp post, and then it would kind of like, so that way you can arc around real fast. I don't know if it does that in the game, but the driving seems very fluid. I noticed that he was driving through some obstacles, like some stone bricks and stuff. So yeah, there is environmental damage in the game, which I mean, you know, that's cool. Then it showed the battle mode where he was kind of, you know, destroying like some, I don't know, some tanks or some cars or stuff. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of cool. I mean, me personally, I don't really care about blowing up a bunch of, because it reminded me of Saints Row 4 or Saints Row like Tank Mayhem, where you kind of in a tank and you can kind of drive around and just blow a bunch of shit. You know, I mean, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's cool, but I really want to see what Batman can do. I mean, I like the fact that you can drive the Batmobile and drive around, but me personally, I mean, and I'm glad that they integrated it into a combat mode, and it's in the game, it's actually useful. But you know, I mean, that was the only part I was kind of like, you know, it's cool, you know, kind of indifferent about it. But then it kind of shows how he can jump out of the Batmobile at like mid drive or whatever, just out of nowhere, and he's flying around. Yeah, and he's flying around, and like he's flying around fast. You can see the rain droplets, and it all looks great. And then there's this one part where he swoops down onto like this rail thing, and then he does like this real cool takedown where you can take down like 3 people, and he kind of goes under this awkward way. He side kicks this dude, and he takes down all the bad guys. And it looks like they've done some new things with the combat. And then to fast forward, he goes into some kind of building. He sees Penguin. He attacks Penguin. But there's something really weird that starts happening at this part. It starts glitching up, and you see all this static on the screen. And now when I first saw this, I was like, oh shit. I was like, please don't tell me that this demo has just broken down at E3. I was like, God damn it, y'all. No one of y'all delayed this. I was legit scared. And then you hear all these lights going on and all these noise and then Scarecrow sitting there, he's like, how many bones would you break in your pursuit of justice? And then, and whoever that voice actor was, it was fucking badass. It would sound great. It sounded so great. But yeah, that was, it was just so awesome. I'm excited. Scarecrow, he looks different. He looks, I guess he has injuries from Killer Croc in the first Arkham Asylum game. Yeah, it just looked fantastic. I can't wait for it. I really can't. I really can't wait to see more about it. And also the combat and the flow of the game, it seems much more fast paced, and that's what I've kind of noticed with games too. I feel like action games are much better when the action doesn't feel like it slows down. I felt like just everything that Batman was doing was just kind of everything flowed together. Like you can zip right into the Batmobile, you can zip right out, so you're always moving, and it's very fast, and I like that. I like that fast pace that it has. But yeah, that's Switch Arkham Knight. I cannot wait for it. Let's see. There was some stuff on Bayonetta 2 with Nintendo, but Nintendo did very, very well on their conference. I think so. Now me personally, I'm not a Nintendo fan, but I feel like they did good. I feel like I've also heard they got a new exclusive, some kind of scary horror game or not a horror game, but some kind of Japanese some game that they got some kind of exclusive, which is great. I think that's great news, and obviously they paid them off, but I'm pretty sure they did. But still, I'm glad to see that Nintendo is taking steps. But they got Bayonetta 2, and at first I was kind of upset about Bayonetta 2 being on Wii U only, but I'm glad for them. I'm glad that they actually got some games that people actually want to play. You know what I'm saying? And that will allow them to to pull in some audiences. I feel like that's great. What else we got here? We got Bloodborne, that looked pretty good. Let me see let me see here. Yeah, we got Bloodborne, the Borderlands, the pre-sequel, don't care about that. Okay, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Microsoft opened up with the Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, and it looked, it looked the same, in my opinion. It really did. I watched the trailer again. Yeah, there's some new gadgets. Yeah, there's some new gimmicks. But really, I didn't really see anything that excited me. It felt more like a simulation than an actual campaign. And true, it may have a good story and Kevin Spacey and all that stuff, but that doesn't sell a game to me. It looks the same, and I understand it's Call of Duty. It still has to be a first-person shooter. I understand that, but it just something about it just looks the same. It looks the same, just with a new paint job and some twerks. Now it may be a good game. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that won't be a game. I'm not saying that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying that I'm not going to be fooled. I'm not going to let my high hopes for what it could be cloud my judgment for what it is. It looks the same to me. It really does. Like, I'm just looking at the gameplay. I see a bunch of explosions, but I see just him just walking. Oh, kill 3 enemies here, walk, and listen to these guys talk. Bunch of explosions. It's just the same thing to me. So yeah, they open it with that. I mean, if you guys want to get it, but I'll pass. They announced a new Crackdown, Crackdown 3, and they showed the CGI trailer of that. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of CGI trailers, because CGI trailers don't really show you a whole lot. Even though, I understand they're there to kind of say, hey, this game is coming. It looks good. Yeah, like I said, I'm kind of it looks. It's definitely Crackdown. It looks like they're going to try to make it more over the top. And I hope they actually have a story this time, because I know in the first 2 games the story was kind of nonchalant. Even in the second game, it was all but oblivious, or irrelevant. So I hope they do better with the story. But yeah, that's coming to Xbox One. I know that'll sell some games as well. They announced Dead Island 2. Dead Island 2, that actually took me by surprise. I was not expecting that to be Dead Island 2. It looks a lot more, I would say, comical or maybe lighthearted. Because I thought that Dying Light was actually kind of like a spiritual successor to Dead Island. What Dead Island should have been. I did not know that Dead Island was kind of it's a completely its own. I knew it was its own thing, but I didn't know that they were actually going to make a Dead Island 2. And it really shows you that Dead Island Riptide was pretty much a throwaway of Dead Island. It pretty much was. The trailer looked great, you know, like I said, it looks more, I would say even cartoonish, a little more over the top, a little more, I would say, you know, laid back. And then there were two voice actors at the end, and I could have sworn it sounded like Jack Black and Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad. That's pretty much what I heard. So, yeah. Dead Island 2 is coming out. Hopefully it'll be good. I'm probably not going to get it unless they actually do, because I'm going to get Dead Island. I mean, not Dead Island, but Dying Light. I'm getting Dying Light. Dead Island 2, I want to see gameplay first. I want to see some more coverage on it. And once I see what I see, and it looks good, and maybe even when it comes out, maybe if because I know like Angry Joe, and some other good YouTubers, like once they review it and they say, oh yeah, this is a good game, we'll see. We'll see. I have my eye on Dead Island 2. Not sold yet, but I got my eye on it. Oh, the game by the Wii U exclusive is Devil's Third. That's what it's called. I see it here. Dragon Age Inquisition. I don't really care about Dragon Age, but I mean, I'm a Mass Effect fan. I'm a fan of BioWare, but I just don't care about Dragon Age. I don't like how the combat looks. I've heard the Dragon Age 2 wasn't all that great, and so they're kind of trying to make a comeback of Inquisition. EA Sports UFC. At first, I was excited for this game, but now I've seen the gameplay. It kind of looks more the same, just with better graphics, and you know they've updated some stuff. I mean, like I said, we'll have to see. I may pick it up when it gets cheaper, maybe later on this year, or maybe like for Christmas or something. You know. You got The Evil Within, which I know that's that horror game, which I actually want to play. I want to fucking play that. I'm a big fan of horror games. When I get my PS4, I will be playing Outlast, and I can't fucking wait. I can't wait for that. We got Evolve. Evolve look good. But me personally, I'm still waiting for Left 4 Dead, but you know, hopefully Evolve is good. Fable Legends. I saw this one video. I don't know if it was my IGN or it was some. It could have been GameSpot or Machinima. They had a kind of like a little podcast, a little good together about it, and one guy said some things that I really agree. He said that while it does, if it was any other game that wasn't besides Fable, it would be cool. But the fact that it's Fable, I kind of feel like the fact that okay, there are 4 heroes and then there's one person who controls the villain. When in the other games, what made the game cool was that you could choose your role. You could play out your role. But I feel like with this one, everything's kind of preset. And I kind of feel like we kind of saw what the villain's gonna do. Is kind of like a battlefield chess player, kind of looking at the map and kind of playing the enemies. But I feel like that'll get boring, especially like if the player is too good and he knows how to really strategize. It'll make the game boring, and also if he's not good enough, it'll make it boring. So I wonder how that's gonna work. I kind of feel like this is gonna be another miss or Fable. I'm sorry, but that's just kind of what it seems like to me. Now I could be wrong. It could turn out to be a good game, but I'm just saying that I feel like the way the direction. It is a cool feature, but I just kind of feel like I don't know, something about it. I kind of feel like I feel like it's going to end up being more restrictive than it is actually going to open up more things for you. But one thing I do like the fact that there's actually more co-op and more. There's more interaction. I like that. That's good. But I just kind of feel like the way they're handling it may not be the best way. Man, this is a long video. But hey, it's E3. You know, we're talking about E3. I'm going through all this stuff, so this video could go on for like 40 minutes. So, Far Cry 4. Far Cry 4. It looked good. You know, I'll be kind of honest. They've added in some new stuff. They added in a new environment, but it does kind of look like Far Cry 3 to me, just with like I said, a new environment and a new villain. Now, to be fair, to be fair, Far Cry 3 was such a good game. It had great gameplay. There really isn't much that needed to be changed. It just looks like more Far Cry 4. But I know it'll be a good game. Come on, it's Far Cry. It'll be a good game. The new villain, I like him. I would like to see more about him. He looks he looks very eccentric to me. Very, energetic. He looks very charismatic. Yeah, he just looks like, I can tell that they're really trying to bring him out. Look, I'm saying, looks good. It looks good. There was an announcement for GTA 5 on next gen. I don't really care about that. I wasn't the biggest fan of GTA 5. I mean, I thought the single player was a good experience. I thought there was great voice acting, but I noticed that it didn't last as long for me as I wanted it to. I felt like the online just didn't last for me. Once I beat it, I didn't have a reason to go back to it. Yeah, I don't know. It just didn't last with me. But yeah, it's coming out for next gen. I know a lot of people got excited for it. I really don't care, because people just want the great graphics and stuff. Like I said, I really don't care. Halo 5 Guardians got announced. Now the thing with Halo 5, and there are some other games that have done this too, like Mirror's Edge, and what was the other game that did that? There was another game that did the same. Oh, Mass Effect. The Mass Effect 4, or whatever it's gonna be called. All those games are the same thing, where they kind of showed a trailer, but not really. Where it was a bunch of concept art, and I'll talk more about it later. But yeah, I think for like Halo 5, I don't remember seeing any real trailer. I think it was like a bunch. Oh, they were talking about it, and they were kind of showing some concept stuff. There wasn't really there wasn't much about it. And they also announced a Halo Master Chief Edition, where this is going to come with the first 4 Halos, Halo 5 beta code. It's going to come with for all the maps, and you can play it in the old style or the new style, all that type of stuff. For Halo fans, it looks cool. I don't care about Halo, so yeah, you know what I'm saying? It looks cool if that's what you're into. I know a lot of people are complaining, talking about, all they're doing is doing re-releases of games, but to be fair, Halo 5, not just Halo 5, Halo is a franchise that's heavily requested. People like Halo. People probably want to replay Halo 2 and play those games in a remastered, better looking version. So I don't have a problem with remakes as long as they're wanted, and as long as they're good. I have no problem with remakes, because since I'm getting a PS4, I haven't played Last of Us or Infamous, or I haven't played God of War Ascension. I played God of War 3, but I haven't played those games. So to me, it's like buying a brand new game, but just it looks better than it used to. I don't mind, because those are good games. You know what I'm saying? Those are games that people like. Those are franchises that people are invested in. People want to play those games. So I don't really see the big complaint. Oh, they're just re-releasing games. Now, what I don't like is when they have Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, where they charge you full price. I don't like when they charge you full price for a game that came out a year ago, and it's a pointless re-release. That's what I don't like. Now I hope that this Last of Us retail edition isn't full price. It may be. I'm not sure. I'm still going to get it just because I haven't played it before. I feel like when it comes out new releases, if you haven't played the game before, then yeah, it could be a good investment. But if you play the game, then you don't really need it. But yeah, I'll be getting it when it comes out. I can't wait, because I want to play Last of Us. Yeah, I just talked about Mass Effect 4. They didn't really show anything on it. They just kind of showed concept art and talked about it. I don't care about that. Mirror's Edge 2, and this really pissed me off on Mirror's Edge. I love that game, and I can't wait for it. I love the Mirror's Edge. But they didn't tell us anything with the trailer. All they did was they showed concept art and some pre-alpha footage and some simulations where like a training area, but it didn't talk about the story, what direction it was going in, the multiplayer, how that's going to work, how things are going to work. It didn't show anything really. It didn't talk about the open world. It didn't talk about the combat. It didn't talk about what it's doing. It's just like, oh yeah, Mirror's Edge 2, it's coming at some point. And in my opinion, they could have shown this last year when they went in, because they had a CGI trailer last year. So what the fuck have y'all done in the past year to where that's all y'all have is concept art and some studio tours? I don't give a fuck about that. I want to see what the game has to offer. And that makes me really realize that the game may not even come out until late 2015, maybe not even 2016. So that really disappointed me. And they did the same thing with Mass Effect, and I did not like that. We got Mortal Kombat 10, or Mortal Kombat X, they say. It's fucking Mortal Kombat 10. Technically, it's Mortal Kombat 9, according to the main storyline, but it's Mortal Kombat 10 because Mortal Kombat vs. DC was considered an official release. But Mortal Kombat vs. DC is not part of the official Mortal Kombat storyline, so technically, Mortal Kombat 10 is really Mortal Kombat 9. But that's Mortal Kombat fanboy talk. Anyways, yeah, so the game looks great. Gameplay looks great. Adding in new characters. I've heard that the story has something to do with like Raiden. It takes place after Mortal Kombat 9, and Raiden have to go to the future, and like Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade got the, they have a kid, Cassie Cage or something. It's, I don't know, it's some kind of time thing again. So. Cause I was wondering how it was gonna be, cause Sindel pretty much fucked everybody up at the end of Mortal Kombat 9. And pretty much I thought everybody was fucking dead. And I hope they don't. I hope they bring back obviously Liu Kang and stuff, cause I love Liu Kang. And I also hope that they actually give new combos to the characters. One thing I don't like with like Naruto games, the Naruto Storm games, is that everybody has had the same combos for like 3 games now. I really want to see them actually change the combos. And I mean, they can have the same fighting style, but I want to see them actually have some new moves and new things to look at. Yeah, so that's Mortal Kombat 10. I'll be getting that game as well. Can't wait for it. Can't wait. I hope they bring back Challenge Tower or some kind of challenge mode so I can beat that. And I hope I hope they do more with the crypt. And I hope that the story mode is actually really fun. I would love to see them do a return to Mortal Kombat Deception, because like Mortal Kombat Deception had like where you played as a character like Shujinko and you traveled around different realms. It was kind of like an RPG elements. I would love to see that on next gen. That would be fucking amazing. But yeah, you got Order 1886. The graphics look absolutely amazing, but I have a feeling that it's not gonna look like that when the game finally does come out. I could be wrong, but like I said before, you can't trust these trailers anymore. You really can't. So yeah, it looks good. I mean, the gameplay looks okay. Do I get it? Probably not. If it gets like great, outstanding reviews, then yeah. But it looks like one of those games where it looks great, but yeah, that's it. I feel like it's one of those games where the gimmick is the graphics, and I want more than that. I want a game that plays great. So yeah. So we also got Project Spark. That look good. I think in Project Spark they had some kind of controversy where like Conker showed up in the trailer. I didn't really watch that trailer all that well because I don't really care about it because I'm not getting an Xbox One, not yet at least. But yeah, I know there's some controversy about that, but I don't care about that. So, sorry, I've been talking for like 30 minutes straight, getting kind of tired. Let's see what we got. Here. We got Quantum Break. I can't remember if they showed anything about that. Rainbow Six Siege, Rainbow Six, that's making a comeback. That's good. You got Ratchet & Clank Remastered. Don't care about that. Oh, Rise of Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider 2, or the reboot, sexy sequel. You know what I'm saying? It looks good. It kind of show she's taking like therapy or something, and some kind of psychologist, or whatever. It looks good. There is one point that Stone Fox Media made. He said a really good thing about it. He said like it kind of looks like it's kind of more of the first one, just better, because the first one was dealing with her becoming Tomb Raider, her origin story, but this was called Rise of Tomb Raider, and he was kind of like, is it more the same? Is it you know what I'm saying, is it just more of the same of her becoming Tomb Raider, or is it actually something new and a new experience? Me personally, you know, I really don't care as long as the gameplay improves, and that the story continues. I think that in this game, I think that it will. I think that it won't be her. It'll be her when she first becomes Tomb Raider, or it's the first game was just about her, kind of getting into that world. I think this game is going to be about her, basically when she actually does become Tomb Raider. So we'll see about that game. We only got a CGI trailer, no gameplay. I want to see gameplay first, though, before I'm sold. We got Star Wars Battlefront that's coming. Same thing. I think they did show some kind of CGI trailer, but it really didn't tell us very much. So I'm not gonna go too much into that. I'm excited for it. If it's good, I'll get it. But you know, we got for Nintendo. You know, we got Super Smash Brothers, and I think we got some other games coming, and that's great. And I've heard they've had to have some new things in Super Smash Brothers, like when you can play as like your Mii character or whatever, your avatar or whatever. Looks pretty cool. Looks pretty fucking cool. You know, it'll sell some Wii U's. We'll see. Tom Clancy's Division. You know, what I'm saying, it looked cool. Like I said, we'll have to see about that game. Yeah, one thing I did like about the Division was like it had a very co-op-y feel. Like there's a lot of interaction, people were talking and helping out each other. That looks cool. We'll have to see. Like I said, I'm just so scared that a lot of these games, when they finally do come out, they're not going to be what they promised. Because I know that was one of the big things with Watch Dogs, was that it wasn't what we saw at the E3. So we'll just have to see about that. Uncharted 4 got announced. It was just a teaser trailer. I think it talked about like the Nathan Drake being retired and he's coming back and he's a little bit older. It looks good. I mean, it was only a CGI trailer, but like the CGI looks great. They say that it was in-game footage, but we'll have to see. But yeah, Uncharted 4 is coming. I'll be getting that as well, and hopefully they come out with the Uncharted collection because I'll be getting that as well. Ooh, I got a lot of games to catch up on soon. I just can't wait. The Witcher 3, don't really care about The Witcher. I thought The Witcher 2 was boring to me. I thought the gameplay was boring, and the story was not that great. I know a lot of people like this franchise, so if you like it, that's great, but I know me, I don't particularly care for it. So, yeah, we'll have to see about The Witcher. But, I mean, it looked okay, nothing really interests me. So, yeah, so overall, this E3, the main problem that I have with this E3 is the fact that a lot of the games that we saw, we already knew about. I was glad to see some gameplay, like from Mortal Kombat, from Batman, and I was glad to at least hear about Mirror's Edge and Mass Effect, even though we didn't get to see shit. I was glad to at least hear about it. But yeah, I kind of feel like there really weren't as many surprises with this E3. So yeah, but I will say, as far as the conferences, I think Microsoft did a good job in the sense that they only talked about games for like 90 minutes. They definitely took it up from last year's Abomination with Xbox One. Let's see. I think that the most interesting conference was actually Ubisoft. I think Ubisoft had the most interesting one. I love the black chick. I think she was there last year. I think she's very charismatic. She did cut. She did use more curse words, and than I would have liked for a lady to use. Now, I'm not saying women can't cuss, but I kind of, it felt a little bit like, I feel like, yeah, she was trying to win the crowd over, but it kind of felt a little like, you don't have to cuss that much, like, right. But but overall, though, I do like her personality. I like how she's very charismatic, she's very engaging. I think she's the most interesting person I've ever seen, as far as the E3, talk show host. I think a lot of the other ones are boring. I think Phil Spencer's okay. There's some other ones that are okay, but I kind of feel like there were some people up there that are literally just like, yeah, we have a new game. I hope you enjoy it. Yeah. And like they're so awkward. Like I hate when they put the awful people up there. When they put the awful people to speak up, I'm like, can't y'all hire better people? Let me talk, goddamn it, I'll talk. You know, I'll make your game sound good as hell. But yeah, I hate when they do it when they hire those boring ass people to to talk about the games and announce stuff. It really takes away from the experience. They need to stop doing that. So yeah. So I think that's pretty much it. You know, like I said, the Sony. I feel like Microsoft's conference was even more consistent than Sony's. I feel like they brought better games that I actually cared about, but I feel like the middle, they could have saved for another time, like Comic-Con or something else, because they were talking about some kind of show called Powers and PlayStation TV, and it sounds great, but I felt like they should have, the conference was too long. They should have cut all that out, and it should have been only like an hour to 20 minutes, and it should have just talked about games. That's what it should have been. E3 needs to be, and also the E3 and like Gamescom needs to be about games. Now, if you want to talk about your other accessories, put it at Comic-Con or some other stuff, you know. So yeah, I feel like Sony kind of lost some flow, but it was good. I feel like Nintendo dropped some bombs. You know, they did. You know, so they got Bayonetta 2, Super Smash Brothers. They got the new Zelda. Yeah, they got the new Zelda. They got Devil's Third. So they got some games coming out finally. So yeah, I mean E3. E3's over. It was okay. Me personally, I've actually kind of noticed that I actually like Comic-Con more. I've kind of noticed. I just feel like with Comic-Con, you know, there's anime stuff, there's movie trailers being shown. I think there's more to anticipate from with Comic-Con. Which I think is like next month or something like that. So yeah, we'll have to see about that. But yeah, you know, let me know what you guys think. What games are you guys looking forward to? Which conferences you guys think were the best? I know this was a long video, but you know, it's E3. It's a lot to talk about, and I wanted to get all under one video, so I don't have to make like 18 videos talking about each game. I could do that, and I will talk about more about games in the future. Like I will talk about Arkham Knight. I'll probably talk a little bit more about maybe about Far Cry. It depends, but definitely Arkham Knight and Mortal Kombat. You know, pretty much stuff like that. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Current 693 out. Peace.